Hey guys, Thrasher here. We have a huge new update in Dragon Ball Legends as well as some new banners. Let's talk about it right now. Okay, so first up, before we actually talk about the content, the reason that I call this a huge update is because there are some nice quality of life changes in this, but there's one very large update to PvP, which we will talk about in just a moment. Let's start into the news right now and work our way down. Hit news, and then we're going to start at the very bottom. And the first thing we're going to see here are there's some confirmed in-game issues, and there's stuff here that's already been here for a while. We're just going to go to the 424 addendum, as that's what they've added for today. In some cases, limit breaking a character with Z power received as a reward for completing a Yamcha's Home Run Derby. So the Yamcha character, when you get that Z power mission, will not fulfill the requirement of other missions which require limit breaking a character. And what they're saying is if that occurs, you can receive a reward by returning to the home screen and then accessing the mission page again. So if you run into that where you should be getting missions completed that are not completed, you just need to back all the way out and then go back into the mission screen and you'll be good to go. And then this other stuff doesn't really matter, because even though they're talking about the PvP opponent's connection is unstable stuff when your connection is actually the issue, there is possibly a solution for that. So let's go ahead and back out of here and we'll talk about the next thing, and we'll get to the actual PvP change here in just a minute. Okay, so then the bug fix here, the things at the top, the two at the top are the two bug fixes. One is pretty inconsequential. They changed the lettering on Rebrand's ability Pretty Cannon to have two N's, because that's the way it's supposed to be spelled. And then at the top, some users have received future login bonuses. The issue has now been fixed, and the login bonuses from now until the final day can be received correctly by everyone. So let's go ahead and back out of there. And let's talk about the big thing now. So we're going to go to part 4, and we're going to look at this. They've added a new part to the story. So there's part 4, book 2. Make sure to get that done. They've added more Z missions. There are a lot of them. No reason to really go through them. You'll see them as you go through the Z missions. They've added a feature that allows players to continue disconnected PvP battles. So at the very least, people can't just disconnect on you and screw you over. If they disconnect, you're going to fight AI characters. So when time is up in PvP, the victory is now determined by damage inflicted. That is also huge, because there are people who try to just stall out a match they don't think they can win, so that way it ends up being a draw, or in some certain situations they can make people lose before. But now it's going to be based on the amount of damage you've done, so just out damage your opponent. Don't worry about them trying to stall the match out. That is huge for not just people who are cheating, but also the meta. People are running these regen teams where they're just stalling it out. They're either I'm going to win or they're just not going to be able to kill me in time. Massive. Let's go ahead and back out of this. Hit this button right here, and then we're going to scroll down and we're going to go to Ultra Space Time Rush. A lot of people were trying to rush through the Ultra Space Time Rush to get it done. They've added another stage, so there is new stage Rush 5 added. And the other major thing that we care about is this right here. There is another equipment item that we can awaken. So you take the old Stay Alive Gohan and you awaken that. It gives you 13% to special move damage, 13% to ultimate damage. That is good for special move and ultimate rolls, but pretty high. I don't think there are too many items in the game that actually give a higher roll than that. That might be at the very tip. And then Blast Defense 18%. Okay, but like we've stated before, Blast Defense is not the best defensive stat. And then Key Restore Speed up to 12.5%. Again, Key Restore Speed is valuable, not anywhere near as valuable as it used to be back in the old sidestepping days, but 12.5% is pretty reasonable, and there are quite a few situations where 12.5% will get you that extra 1 to 2 key that you need if you understand how to use sidestep and forward dash step and charge step and all those different things. That is going to make a difference in the amount of abilities that you can use while you're fighting. So this is something that I would work on awakening. If you have a couple of these, make sure to awaken at least one. It's a good idea. It's not an amazing item, so I wouldn't try to awaken a bunch of these. I wouldn't hold on to a bunch of these, but you want to try to awaken one with good rolls. That's sort of the key to this type of item right here. And it's got to be used on your ranged regen characters. So there aren't a lot of options anyway for this type of equipment item. You really only need one. And then we can go ahead and back out of here, and we're going to scroll down to this guy right here. Here's the other thing, is a lot of people were rushing to try and get all of their Z power and all of the other things that you get with medals for the Legends Road for Future Trunks. Well, this Future Trunks, they're keeping them around for a little while because of the issues they had at first where it was not showing the items for everyone so they could get them. So this is going to stay until the 1st of the next month. So if you need to get any more of that done, make sure to do that. There's nothing else crazy here. They're just letting us know that they extended the period. We're going to back out and then scroll down to here, and then Happy Legends Week, the special. There's just going to be login bonuses, so we'll go down here and look at the login bonuses real quick. Pretty standard. You can see that if we go to the bottom, the very last day is always more chrono crystals, so there's 300 there, and then there are another 100 there for 400, another 100 should be up here for 500, and I believe that is it. So we're going to get 500 chrono crystals, which, while it's not amazing, it's not thousands and thousands of chrono crystals, it is nice because most of these login bonuses, we normally only get 300, so they did up it a little bit, up to 500. We're also going to get our energy tickets, our skip tickets, there's some silver bells in there for training, so they throw lots of other stuff in there, and Zenny. So let's back out, and the next thing that we need to talk about is this guy right here. So the Home Run Derby is very similar to a Legends Road, but it's not a Legends Road. You're going to go through multiple missions where you just have to fight your opponent. Eventually, you're going to get to an actual Home Run Derby stage, and let's break this down a little bit. So as you're going through each stage, you are going to get these 3 different type of medals. They're the exact same as Legends Road medals: your bronze, your silver, and your gold, except for it's a baseball bat, and baseball cap. So they've just reskinned that, same general idea. You're going to use those 3 different types of medals to get the Z power for the Yamcha, the Rising Souls for the Yamcha, and then the Super Souls for the Yamcha. So pretty much the exact same as Legends Road on that front. Now here's where it differs. If we go down here, they're going to talk about the home run battles. So there are multiple home run battles. Right now, only one is available. They're going to open up some more later, but as far as today goes, there's one. And as you can see down here, you're going to have nothing but green cards. It's going to be versus a Vegeta. He is going to use a Ki Blast or possibly a Ki Barrage against you, and then you have to use the green card to reflect that, essentially hitting a home run. And right now, with the first home run derby that's available in the game, you pretty much have to hit 3 home runs before time runs out and you beat the battle, or before you take too much damage from the Vegeta because you weren't actually reflecting the shots. So as it says down here near the bottom, watch the pitcher's magic ball blast attack for the best time to use your special arts and hit a home run. Deal damage to the enemy pitcher with heartbreaking home runs. So every time he shoots a blast at you, make sure to hit your green card. And then we're going to go down here. This guy you're actually going to get almost immediately. I believe it's the 3rd mission or the actual home run derby that gives you 100 Z power, so you'll automatically have him. So I do recommend that when you go in the shop, don't spend on the Z power first. The first thing you want to do is get a few Super Souls so that you can get him up to 2,000, and then enough Rising Souls to get him up to 2,000, because you need to be using him in most of these battles because he does get a bonus, and there are multiple challenges that are going to ask you to use him. And the challenges are not like most challenges in the past where you get chrono crystals. You're going to get more of the medals that you need to further boost this character up, so make sure you're doing that. And then as we scroll down here, we're going to look at the equipment items that we get. Same as every other Legends Road, you're going to get a few equipment items that you can buy with the medals. So the first up is I even sense Goku's Ki. It's 13% to strike attack, 13% to blast defense, and then 15% to blast attack. Again, the blast defense is not the best defensive stat. This is an okay item. I call this sort of a fail-safe equipment item. So as you can see, it's for any purple character. I recommend getting one of these. Get a good roll on it, but get one. And the reason that you're grabbing this is because it's an okay equipment item. It's not great for anyone, but for any new type of character that may have specific typings where it's very hard to find any equipment for them. So a good example of this would be is if rather than purple this said green and you had Beerus. Beerus only has 2 good equipment items that he can really use right now. This would be a good 3rd option. So what I would say is grab one of these, so it's a fail-safe. If you have a purple character in the future that doesn't really have lots of equipment options, you can use this right here. And then the exact same is true of this guy. It's pretty much the same general idea. This is a yellow fail-safe equipment item. Get one of them. The stats are not amazing. It's 15% to strike attack, 13 to blast defense, and 13 to strike defense. Again, HP is what you want, not the blast and strike defense, and this is a pretty defensive equipment, so this is really just a fail-safe equipment item. Out of the 2, if you can only grab one because you don't have enough space for both, definitely grab this guy first, the purple, because it's a better item, but there are not tons of options for yellow equipment items if you need that fail-safe, so I would grab one of these as well. And then if we scroll down a little further, we'll see that there is another title, Legendary Slugger. Make sure to go through and get that. The missions are pretty much just get medals, and they'll give you those. So then as we go down here, we're going to see that battles 1, 2, and 3 are available today, as well as the first home run battle, and then we have to wait until the 1st of the month for the next 3, the EXs 1, 2, and 3, and then home run battle 2, and then we have to wait another week for the final home run battle, battle and the challenge battle. So just keep that in mind. Not all of these are available today, just these first 4 up here. So let's go ahead and back out of here, and then we are going to talk about the Happy Legends Week, which is pretty much just going to encompass a lot of the things that we've talked about so far, as well as a couple other small things. So the first one are the login bonuses that we already went through. Don't really need to cover that, but it goes until the 15th. The next thing are the special missions and receive amazing awards. So basically, there's a ton of really standard missions. Just go into the mission tab and then go into the mission area and then click on the events tab, and you'll see these missions on the right side. Nothing that we really need to go into there. Most of it you'll get done if you just play the game. And then the third one is the character power-up campaign. So here's the major thing. They've given us 2 times experience and 5 times any in the main story, 2 times experience, 5 times any in the event story. And then here's the huge one. The training is 2 times experience and half training time, which is awesome. This is the time where you should be using your training items to get all your characters up to 2,000. The other cool thing, they've made one other quality of life change that I don't think is really noted anywhere. I haven't seen where it's noted, but when you're training, all max level characters, so level 2,000 characters, are moved to the bottom of your character list. Not a huge thing, but it does save you a few seconds, and it's nice. And then the last one is adventure time is cut in half. Make sure to get lots of your adventures done. One of the key missions is doing 150 adventures, so you want to get as many of those done as possible. Another little trick is you don't have to complete adventures. The actual mission is, I believe, embarking on adventures. So if you have a ton of adventures and you don't think you can get them all done because you just don't have enough time, you can always start all the adventures, then go in and interrupt all of them and start new adventures, and it will count all of the ones that you start up regardless of whether or not they finish. So if you want to cheese that a little bit, that's one way to do it. And then campaign 4 is the actual home run derby, the Yamcha stuff that we just looked at. Make sure to grab him as a character because he's amazing. He's my second favorite joke character, probably behind Farmer with a Shotgun. Some people are huge fans of Dragon Ball Super. Some people don't like Dragon Ball Super. I was a fan of Dragon Ball Super, but the thing is, all the action that was amazing. My favorite episode in all of Super is the Super with this Yamcha. I was watching it with a friend. I literally fell off my bed when the the explosion happened at home base and Yamcha had his hand on home plate. And he was essentially, the same. Oh god, it was so good. The same image of when he was essentially killed against Nappa and Vegeta on Earth. That was, I lost it. So let's go ahead and back out of here, and then we are going to talk about the. We're going to skip the sales because there's again nothing crazy in the sales. If you want to spend money, do it. They're all very standard sales. Let's go ahead and move into the Legends Rising banner, which is probably the thing that I've gotten the most questions about recently. And I think it's going to be about where a lot of people thought it was going to be. So let's look at the featured characters here. This Gotenks, looking at his stats and his stat spread, he is a very quality character. I don't know if he's going to be Z tier. He's definitely not game breaking. He is a quality unit. He makes the Fusion Warrior team work. He's really that last character that they needed. But again, he's not game breaking, so keep that in mind. He's a high tier character. And then same of this Boo Super. I think the Boo Super is actually probably a little bit better than the Gotenks. But again, he's not game breaking. If he is Z tier, he's near the bottom of the Z tier. And then next up we have Majin Buu Good. Not a great character. He does work on the regen team, but he's definitely not a high tier character. And then we have the Gotenks, who's again middle of the road, a little bit better now that we have the Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks and you can truly run a Fusion Warriors team. And then the Trunks Kid, who's also not a good character. So there's really only 2 characters you want to pull on this. They are good but not absolutely amazing characters, and we have the anniversary coming up. So if you ask me, and also let's bring this guy up, he is a much lower chance to pull. He's not 1%, so he's sort of a non-factor when thinking about this. So going back, looking at this banner, what I would say is there's only 2 characters you want to pull. They're not absolute must-haves, even though they are cool characters, and they can definitely make specific teams that are already reasonably strong much stronger. It's probably not a good idea to pay full price because the anniversary is so close. I'm going to recommend that you only do daily discounts on this. This is a 2-star Dragon Ball banner, and if you're planning on spending, only do the daily discounts down here. Don't do this 999 Z power. It's really not worth it right now. The risk reverse reward is just too high at the moment. So leave it at that. Just do your daily discounts. If you're someone who absolutely has to spend on it, then there's nothing I can say to change your mind. Do that. But you're going to be, in my opinion, pretty mad at yourself when the anniversary comes out because it's almost always the best banner of the year in any single gacha game. So just keep that in mind. And that's pretty much it for this content. You guys let me know what you like the most. I think the PvP change is absolutely the largest thing that happened so far. And if you like this content, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.